Howdy y'all, Scott Grove here, Dr. Groovy from GroovyMusicLessons.com. About to get groovier than usual. We're going to do everything in the key of E today. You can do one of those LGBTQ plus things, the T meaning transposing. If you want, we're going to stay in the key of E. Why? Because that's where the backing track that I made for it is set at. Today, using my Reverend Ron Ashton model Volcano that I put my own polka dots on. This is one of 4 guitars that I'm using, 3P90s and a bass roll-off switch. So yeah, I have 4 of these guitars, every color they made. They made 2 black ones, meaning mine that I did this way, and a regular black. So I kept one normal. We got orange and we got white up there as well. Why did I tell you all that? Because these are groovy and funky, especially this one. Very funky. The things that I showed you in the intro are going to be as such, just so you know what we're getting into, and if you already know it all, groovy. Okay, so we're doing 9th chords. Doing 7ths. Octaves. Different octaves. Okay. And some little bit of slapping and popping. Right there, the Hendrix chord. What is it called, actually? The Hendrix chord. But I'll be using it because it's funky. As you can tell. So a bunch of this kind of thing, even just regular funky licks. Okay, so again, just funk. Okay, and it's like funk 101 or 102, depending on how far along you are in guitar playing. So stick around. I'll catch you on the stool or whatever I'm using today. Gonna give you a stool sample. Anyway, you guys stay groovy, and I hope to catch you over there. All right? Okay. All right. Thanks for coming on back. I decided I'm going to stand. Why? Because Fat Boy needs to get rid of a calorie or 2,700. Okay? So, going to waste away to nothing right before your eyes. You watch. Highly doubtful. Anyway, so the first thing we're going to do is just let you hear the backing track that I've put together for this. Just drums and bass going like this. Okay, if that ain't country, it's got to be funk. Okay, used to doing country, so I'm going to funk up the country and make it groovy. So coming at you is the 9th chord. That is in the key of E. I've showed it in a lot of lessons, but here it is again, in case you specifically looked up funk. Okay, we're going to get our E, which is at the A string, 7th fret. Then we're going to 6th fret on the D. Then we're going to use our 3rd finger, ring finger, to bar across at the 7th fret, across the G, B, and E strings. So we have... Okay, there will be a lot of sliding from 1 fret back up into it. Okay, and the other things I'm going to be doing, just to show you in advance before I explain the picking part of this, I will be hitting some low E's, taking advantage of that, open low E's. Okay, so that kind of a thing. The other movements within this, I said movement. Yeah. Anyway, I'll be going up 2 frets, all the way up to the F sharp, and then backward 1 more fret, then backward to the E. Okay, so making that thing go on. Now, the picking on this is 100% down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then we're pretty much done. Time for a cigarette and roll over and go to sleep. Okay? If you're anything like most guys. Or gals. Depends. If you're a gal, you can play this over 30, 40 times before you get tired. So, what makes it funky? Okay, number 1, the picking. Okay, so there's a lot of clicky clickies, and that's simply done by taking your fretting hand and lifting up enough off the frets that it just becomes that kind of a noise. Okay, so okay, what are the laws governing this whole thing? None. Okay, it's just a matter of how groovy you get and how groovy you become. Am I going to be able to sit here and tell you exactly how to do this? No. But I can give you a little hint. Okay, so there's a lot of every other ones. I'll go very slow, and you can check out kind of what's going on. Okay, so you'll hear that there's a lot of clickies right before we go back to the 1 in our counting. So before it starts over again, before I do the little slide in, there's a lot of clicks going on. But again, it's a constant movement with your picking hand. I keep saying with your picking hand because I don't know if you're right or left-handed. Okay, so that's what's going on. And again, with the, okay, that is just a feel thing. Okay. Often happens right at the end of a bar, so it's just determining how many you want, like the song Kiss by Prince. I think it's okay, so it's just kind of a random thing. His was planned out, but you can get away with just simply funkifying yourself. Again, kind of suggestive. Okay, that one I just went up 2 frets. So forward, backward, doesn't matter. But the basic law, the Jude law, is to go backward 1 fret from where we're at. So back to the 6th fret, back to the 7th. And then you can go up to the 9th, 8th, 7th. But always end up back on the 7th fret. Anything else up against the law, you're going to get it ticketed. Okay? Now, again, that low E string is cool because we're in E. Okay? So, not more than just a couple of notes here and there. Okay? Along with the backing track, you'll see how this fits in. And I'll do it through a few times so you can hear just a couple of different ways of picking more than anything. Okay, so you can see you don't have to be doing the slide thing all over the place. Just grabbing a different pick. The other one got a little prickly on me and started falling down. I'll leave that one alone. Okay, so you can hang right there. Totally fine. Now when a song switches chords, you can just follow right along with that. So whatever is on your A string, right now we have an E note. So say it goes up to A, just go up to the A note, which is 12th fret, and do the same thing. Groovy thing is when you get to the B, you don't have to stick around way up here. Even though it is very funkified to stay on high notes like we are. But you have the option of going all the way down to the 2nd fret where it's B, and you have enough room to go backward 1 fret. Okay, we'll grab one more pick. There we go. These have no ridges on them, so we should be fine. So that is it with the 9th chords. We're going to mix these with all the other stuff I'm going to show you, because 9th chords, as groovy as they are, they get old if that's all you play throughout an entire song. Okay? So the next are 7th chords. You may know these, you may not. The first one being the really high one, which is a version of, I'm going to make a liar out of myself, of this. But to teach you, I'm going to go down here and do on the G, B, E string, I'm going to do 4, 3, 4. Okay, so the same laws apply when we're doing the strumming and how many frets you can go backward and forward and then end up on your E7. Okay, so the same thing, moving up to funk territory, we're going all the way up to 16, 15, 16. So the same thing, just an octave higher. Then you combine them together. work very well together. Okay, and that will transpose to anything. If you go to the A, you're looking at 9, 8, and 9. Okay, so you can learn to transpose those or put them where you need them. Again, it's going to be the 7th, which is actually 2 frets back from the root. So in A, again, you would normally be for an A chord, you would be at 9, 10, and 9. But since we're making a 7 out of it, we're taking the A and flattening it by 2 frets. Okay, so you just got to picture that D-shaped A chord in your head. But it doesn't sound like funk, it just sounds too A, B, C, D, E, F, G, kid rock. Slay me. So use that to identify where that 7th chord is going to be. You heard more clicky clickies. Okay, you could, of course, totally just stop and count to yourself. I'll go back to the E. Okay, so it doesn't have to be clicky all the time. You can just shut off the clicks by not playing them. Okay, so that is the next little thing to show you. Of course, there are more 7ths around. Find them like this. You normally have like your E at the 9th fret on your D, G, and B string. Again, E is on the G string. Take it back 2 frets to the 7th fret. Put your 9 and your 9th fret back on. And you can have an open E on the high end. But you do have it on the low end. You can add it on to the whole thing. And again, that little rule, back 1, back to where you were, up 2, back 1 again, or forward and then back. It's totally up to you. It's a funkified thing. It's all about feel. And what else can I tell you? I could tell you more stuff about more chords. Let's get to the Hendrix chord. Why? Because it has the same rules as all these as far as going back 1 fret, up 2 frets, and so forth. If you don't know the Hendrix chord, shame on you. Okay, this is almost the E9. It only has 1 note difference. So make that chord again, starting at the A string. We're looking at 7, 6, 7, 7, 7. We're just going to, on the B string, add a pinky to the B string, okay, on the 8th fret. So you have, instead of, we have, okay, so this here's a Purple Haze thing. Add your own distortion at your discretion and for your taste and flavor and so forth. Same rules. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so from there, let's go ahead and get to octaves. Very disco-ish, but disco and funk, kind of in the same vein, folks. The cooler that we make them sound relies on us playing them up high. Yes, we'll do lower stuff, but the infamous This one doesn't have the same rules as far as where to play at, going up and down the fretboard. Okay, so what we're going to do here is staying in E, is at the ninth fret, G string, and 12th fret with your pinky all the way up here. We're shutting up the B string. Our first finger is kind of just lazily touching the B string, which shuts it up, and we can... the picking hasn't changed any. It's the same funk thing. Everything's basically the same. You can just want to stop it if you don't want to do clicks. That's the best I can tell you, is stop when you don't want the clicks. The clicks are always cool. It helps with percussion. If you have a drummer, groovy. But if you don't have a percussionist along with you doing congas, bongos, and timbales and so forth, you can add percussion. Okay, so that's what clickies are, percussion. Okay, so the law with this is to go to the 7th. So you can go backwards 2 frets. Along with the track. Okay, so you see how I quit with the clickies and just gave the song room to breathe, as they say. Okay, the other movement on this is going to be up 3 frets, so we're going to end up at the 12th fret on the G and 15th fret on the high E. Go back 1 fret, so you're at 11 and 14. So back where you were. So there's no, there's no 10 and 13. So so you can go there. We can even go up from the highest part. Okay, you can go up higher, so go up a fret or 2 frets. Okay, let me make sure that that one string is in tune. It's not. That's what was sounding weird to me. And we are in tune again. So, again, back at 9 and 12. And when we go up to the 12 and 15, you can go up to 14 and 17. Okay, so 14, 17, and then 15, 18. Okay, I like to personally go to the 7th, which is even when I'm up here. Okay, and yes, you can go chromatically, which means 1 fret at a time when you're down here to this 7th. Very groovy to do the 1 fret thing, or if you are in the 7th, just go back 1. Same here, as we did on the... Okay, now an octave difference, which is, of course, exactly like the other one, is at the 7th fret on the A string and the 9th fret on the G. You're still doing the same thing by shutting up the D string with your first finger just kind of laying over top of the D string, not pressing down. So you have, or 1 fret. Right there is probably the best audio explanation of this. It's nice to go the 1 fret. So we're doing the same thing, going up to 10 and 12, 9 and 11, and then back to 7 and 9. And the same when we're climbing up. Which is, so no need to climb way up there without changing strings. Okay, so that's a groovy thing. Another one is just playing a single string, getting that, okay? Okay, yeah, there's more than one string, but when I started off, one string. So we're going on the B string from 3rd fret to the 5th. You can use the high E string if you want with it. It sounds cool with the high E string added. Once you go up 3 frets, 2 frets. Now the other little things that I added, which make it sound cool. Okay, simple licks, all on the high E string. Okay, that's simply the A note, 5th fret, high E, bent up. Okay, so bent up, release it, and pull off to the G, or the 3rd fret, on the high E string still. Going back to where you were, the E note, 5th fret, B string. Flattening out, going back up to the high E string at the 5th fret. Doing a little 3rd fret and bending it up a little bit. And back to the E. Okay, there I'm doing a pull off on the B string, 5th fret to the 3rd fret. Going to the 4th fret on the G string. So we have that's it. Following it naturally is going to be an E7 down here. Octave higher. You're already set up. The chord is there. Okay, with the compressor, you have lots of sustain, lots of squash, which is the primary ingredient in this funk soup. Okay, compression, compression, compression. Very cool. Okay, the other thing that I tossed in here was some low licks, along with the low E string. Okay, the more live your strings are, the better. How live are mine? Not exceptionally. Okay, good old whammy pedals. Make your strings sound 10 times as dead as what they are. Okay, so I'm doing that with my thumb. So I'm tucked my pick, the old Gene Simmons thing, because he plays with the pick on his bass. He tucks his pick under like this, and that gives him kind of the devil horns thing. Different than Dio that did that. Gene would wave at people like this, and people thought he was doing some kind of cool hand signal. No, he's just waving and holding his guitar pick. Okay, literally that's what's going on. Okay, not trying to make a groovy thing. So you have an open E string twice. Going to the 2nd fret on the D string. Just another E note. Okay, very dissonant. So anyway, pulling off to open on the D string after the 2nd fret. Okay, that is 4th fret on the A string, and then open on the D string. That's open A, hammer onto the 2nd fret, and then pull back off to open. Okay. Okay, so okay, it's cool to use the 3rd fret. It has more of a 7th sound. Okay, for your low E string, do a 3rd fret before you hit your open E. Okay. Very easy to play inside that box. Okay, so whatever goes, goes right down there along with the track. Almost sounds like the same thing. Okay, that was just an octave higher. No different than what we were doing here. Or basically the same thing. Take the whole thing up to the 9th fret. That is 9th fret G string. Pulling off to the 7th fret. 9th fret on the D. Back to the 7th fret on the G. Play it with your pick if you want. So, now we're just doing a slide down on the D string from 9 to 7. Then we're actually playing 5 with a little bit of a bend. And ending on E, which is the 7th fret of the A string. Okay. So we have Hendrix chord. The same thing going on. We just are not blessed with having the open E there, so we're having to play it long form. Of course, again, everything is transferable to any key you want. So there is the introduction to the funk thing. A lot of things are kind of minor sounding, or the blues scale. So remember that. We can actually do this, which is cool. It's going to be, okay, and all that is, we're going to do a few things right here, and then I'll get out of here. But up here at the 14th fret on the D string, that gives us our E note. That's going to the 12th fret with your G and B. Either a little vibrato there or a little bit of tremolo, whichever you care to call it. They are two different things. Vibrato is correct. But trying to kind of bring that G string just a little high. Leave the B string where it is if you can. Okay. up to the 14th fret, still on the G and B. Okay, so we're doing a little bend down on the 14th fret. Back to the 12th fret. And 14th fret to get our E note on the D string. Now there's another part to add to that, which is 12th fret on the E and B. And now we're actually going to go to the E and B string, since that's where we're at, and put this puppy in here. It's actually going to do the same thing as a E7, but we're going to actually go back one fret with part of this. So again, 14 and then 15 on the B and E. Okay, so we're taking those and basically bending them up to that. So okay, and if you want to, you can take that 12 and 12 and make it 12 and 10. Gives you a 7th. But without the 7th there, along with the track, we have okay, so that's all that stuff going on. So we have all kinds of things to do. I'll add as much of this stuff as I recall and toss it into a very quick jam. Again, staying in E, because that's all I programmed the backing track for. So, going right from the 9th chords. Okay, so that's what we got. Hope you dug it, and stay funky. See you in the next lesson.